Aloha Collective, welcome to our end of days. And that's DAZ. Let me just set this up here. That should work. Hey, I'll kind of lean forward here just so you can hear me. I know it's been a while. It's been a long while. I haven't done any updates. I haven't done anything. My last posting, too, pretty serious, right? Pretty serious. That's why I've been going through quite the ordeal, you guys. Quite the ordeal. Everything happens for a reason, though. The way that I am viewing it in this moment is, it was, some would say exploring the underworld, but it was more like returning to the underworld for me. People would probably call it a soul retrieval kind of an operation, and that's kind of how it feels. Luckily, that episode, that stuff is done, And so, thank God, you guys, seriously. Praising all the good sources of everything, everything is a lot more diverse than we think too, which is the beauty of it, which is absolutely the beauty of it. I don't really know what I was going to say. I didn't really come here with a plan or anything, but I did kind of remember and kind of notice that it's been a long time since I posted like anything. So we're gonna just kind of go forward with this. I'm gonna try to keep it as brief as I can. I don't know about updates. I don't know about the future of this channel. I don't really know what I'm going to truly talk about. I keep getting signs and synchronicities. Whoa! Is that the end of that? Nah, fuck it. Damn it, man. Yeah, that's what we should do. Ugh. Wait, is it still? Oh, yeah! I thought I was done, you guys. I thought I was done there. We're gonna keep on rolling, man. That's life, you guys. That's freaking life in a nutshell, isn't it? Life in a nutshell, you guys. Anyway, I'm trying to set up something so I don't get distracted here. If you managed to sit through that, awesome. Awesome, this is pretty real. You can't tell, right? It's not AI. I'm doing my best to do certain things, even if it's a little bit choppy sometimes to signify that. Because it's getting hard, you guys. It's getting hard to tell if footage and other stuff is AI or not anymore. And so I'm just kind of going, doing my thing. So you can tell this is real. I'm a real person, you know. Some of the stuff I might talk about is kind of dicey, depending on your background, other stuff. Uh, so many different avenues too. My audience, right? Who am I talking to? Like at this point, I'm talking to myself. In many different layers to that. If you'll notice, the first thing I said for welcoming, I've said, soul fam, soul family. I've had a few different intros, but I like collective, you guys, because it's just like we're part of this together, and I almost say it's the collective consciousness. I would say maybe of the earth, maybe a little bit more. You don't really know. And my venturing back into the underworld, if anything, it was venturing into the collective unconscious. And so, somewhat Jungian, if you want to go through those definitions. Very interesting, you guys. Very interesting. And I just have my own interpretations of everything, too. Things are unconscious until they're made conscious. And in many ways, I believe that the unconscious seeks to become conscious. It really does. But only that which is its time, I guess, is the best way to put it. I'm not looking or seeking to drag something that's unconscious into the conscious light per se. I'm also open to the idea, given the right circumstances. Like my own venturing most recently into this, I'll be really serious, you guys, like addiction. like drugs, like lifestyle patterns. And it goes deeper than that. The collective unconscious part that I'm talking about too, like it goes so much deeper than just those things. Like those are surface related things that a lot of society acknowledges, and society is starting to acknowledge some of the other patterns, which can be very addictive. One of the patterns that I haven't really spoken about per se a lot is what I would almost say the true addictive pattern, I would say, of most people. And I'm going to talk about it. All right, I'm going to talk about it at the very, very least, and share my experiences with it. And so it's one of those things too, where I'm not saying this is the way that things are, but this is my opinion, right? This is my perspective. This is what I've seen from my point of view. And so it's neither right or wrong. It just is what it is. And so I want to preface that. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. You don't have to agree with it. It's if anything, I'm revealing, right, my own perspective, my own explorings, meanderings, if you will. So one of the biggest things that I've had to deal with in my own life is the addiction to external authority and the the relationship that ends up bringing. I would say it's kind of like a duality when we perceive an external authority. And it ends up being like a submissive, kind of, oh, you're greater than me, I'll do whatever you want, division slice where there's fear and then there's, a version of love. And from this point, this is where it creates the duality, because part of that structure is made unconscious, and usually one side over the other is chosen to be the conscious side. And if someone becomes conscious of both, that's when things really start to dismantle, if you ask me, because only when one of those sides is chosen, and to me, this is what the traditional right hand path, left hand path is meant to be, like in unconscious point of view, is the left hand path hates external authority, uh, you know, betrays it. What's the word I'm looking for here? Rebels against it. Sticks its middle finger up at it. Nah. But at the same time, it needs that external authority, that source, to exist in order to rebel against. And so it will also submit to that authority in very different ways as well. But more of it unconsciously, it'll kind of sweep it under the rug. And it's what I've seen with certain groups here as well. And so then there's the right hand path. And I would say most typical people, working a job, doing their normal thing. This is where they essentially, submit to the authority. They submit to the external authority. They love it. They do that. At the same time, there's other parts of themselves which become unconscious. And this unconscious part of them is the aspects where, they might steal from the company. They might do some drugs, on the down low. They might do activities, right? Confirmation, where the external authority doesn't approve of. All right. And they might speak poorly of the external authority, maybe through the internet, through other avenues where they have a degree of safety. And I can't ever pronounce this word. Anonymity. I think I got that. So this is the traditional unconscious pattern, and this keeps the external authority as the external authority. However, when we really begin to get in touch with this, and to me, this is what was part of the soul retrieval aspect. I really, truly had to go into the underworld in order to delve deep enough to really, truly grasp what was going on. And I'll probably reveal it in another video. We're already at what 9:30, right? For the minutes here. I think we got landscapers close by. I don't know if you can hear it, but it just, like I said, it is what it is, you guys. Raw and unedited, always. So, what I wanted to get across what I can share about my own personal journey is that this goes much deeper than, for me at least, this lifetime. Okay, this is a pattern and a structure which we've been dealing with over lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes. And there is a particular, I don't want to call it a religion, but maybe, a religious viewpoint. I don't know how else to label it at this point. Because even like kind of a side note, but just like even Buddhism says it's not a religion. All right, it says it's not a religion. It's a spiritual practice, maybe. But I would still call it a religious viewpoint when we're talking about how it interprets things, how it sees things, how it labels things. And so, given those definitions, Gnosticism, maybe specifically to some degree, Christian Gnosticism, is something that I have been attracted to, something which has been pulling me into a deeper understanding of. Because for me, this really unifies so much of the unconscious aspects that I was talking about previously, where there's this external authority, and we both rebel against it and submit to it on an unconscious level. And that when we bring these unconscious elements together and we make them conscious, that is when we truly start to remember who we are, why we feel that way. And, I'll do my best to continue to share my journey, what's going on here. I know it's kind of more like a vlog. I've for future of this channel stuff, I've thought about avenues to go to. I know some people might poo-poo that, regardless, whatever, and it's not everybody, like seriously. But to explain myself, like tarot reading, like I believe truly that when we have a conscious relationship with the divine, we are able to start to receive signs. And the more that we interact with and, I don't know, just interact with the divine, we're able to determine and use signs as a way of being able to, pick up language, to see what the divine's telling us, in some ways what we're telling ourselves, the unconscious aspects of us. And I think it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. This is also why I talk about the collective, my collective, our collective, however you want to phrase it. Um, the way that I am seeing this now is that as individuals, we have been of an unconscious collective, and we'll just say across the earth. Okay, there could be smaller ones, larger ones, whatever. But I'm just kind of lumping everything together for the earth here, and we have been mostly unconscious. All right, and as individuals, we've been starting to awaken. All right, and what I've been recognizing is that there is truly a conscious collective out there. And this conscious collective, we are connected with each other through the aethers, I want to say mind and heart, and how important that is, that we are supporting each other, you know, um, any moment of every day. And if you're on this journey with me and you're watching my stuff, so to some degree, you got to be, or you're inviting that kind of energy into your life. And as a caveat, um, you know, watcher beware. If you're a cross watcher, and to define that term, it would be somebody who is actually trying to sabotage me, someone who is trying to steal from me, destroy me, has negative intentions, essentially, and against me, against the collective conscious, who are basically operating from, what some people would say lower spirits. Um, and I would say just unconsciously in general, because what they're doing is they're attacking themselves. They're attacking themselves in a very real way, sabotaging their own efforts, regardless of what has brought them in the past. And so, it is what it is. There's going to be cross watchers. There's going to be that. But this is why I say the caveat here is that if you are a cross watcher, watching my material to any degree, you're inviting these energies of transformation into your life. Okay. And so you are going to start to experience the truth of your lifestyle. Okay. So don't watch this, man. Don't watch this if you don't want the truth. Okay? If you want the truth, yeah, cool, right? If you're part of the collective already, if you're on this journey already, awesome, man. Hopefully, I'm entertaining. These energies are not going to be something you're unfamiliar with already. So sweet, right? So maybe we'll leave it at that, like 15 minutes. So I'm going to continue to update. I'm going to continue to get back on this recording session thing. Because on that level, it's been necessary, you guys. I've spent like probably the last week recovering. Like it's been serious. I know many people have had to quit drugs, and they've needed a lot of external help. And I'm not saying that I haven't received any, but it's been more of an internal battle for me and internal choices, and then setting aside the space and the time for me to recover physically, mentally. With that said, and as I was talking about the collective conscious, I've received so much support. I've received so much support, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for it. And people who are ready, to transform their lives, all they need to do is set out this intention that, to receive help from the collective conscious, because that's where we're going to. That's what we're moving toward. So, I don't know if you can hear it. There's a siren in the background. Not that it matters. I'll talk about that in another episode. my episodal recordings here, and I'll do my best, you guys. Maybe recording a day. Sundays are kind of harder for me at the moment, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay. And as things change, things change. But I think putting out a video a day for me is pretty good. It gives me something to do at this point. Because I got a plan, you guys. I got a plan. And yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Thanks for being a part of this with me. I'll keep you guys updated. Through all the crazy stuff which ends up happening anyway, right? Dropping the camera and everything. Excuse me. But yeah, I'm feeling much better. Yeah, done with that stuff too. Ugh. Done with the negative fucking. Excuse my language, but all that BS, man. All that bullshit. With the people, with the drugs, with all that stuff, man. I've at least for this round, ventured deep enough into the underworld, retrieved what I needed to, like maybe even more than what I thought. And so, beautiful, right? Beautiful. So we'll keep it at that. I'll keep you guys updated. Love you, collective. Love you guys. We're all in this together. We're all getting through this together too. I'll start to share more of my life when I can too, because I keep getting signs too that I'm supposed to share a little bit more about my life and everything. So I'll reach this up here. I don't know how dark it was. Like I said, it is what it is, you guys. We'll check this out. I mean, I'll review the video after. So peace out. Love within. Catch you guys soon.